Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food, it's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Today is Wednesday, and today we will do our food news episode. So everything and anything that is important in food world, I'm gonna deliver. Anything that will help you either get healthier and fitter and make better, more educated consumer and healthy eating choices, or something that will prevent you from getting any sort of possible negative health consequences. Because at this point, when our science and our industry moves so fast, we often are not really sure how exactly anything gonna affect our health and vitality and energy levels, especially long term. Like, we can kind of figure out how it affects us in the next day or two, maybe a week or months, but when it comes to, longevity and decades, the results that are decades away and accumulate over time, it's really hard to predict the outcome. That's why, guys, also, I always recommend to stick with something that has been proven to be beneficial for our health now and many years from now, like, eating whole foods that have been around for generations and thousands of years, or at least hundreds of years, instead of falling for some product that has a lot of promises, but at the end of the day, we don't really know how it's going to affect us in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. And if you're anything like me, you want to be around in 5 and 10 and 20 years from now, being your best self, healthy and full of energy, not with some health issues or compromised health because you trusted this new food product that wasn't really doing what it's supposed to be doing. Anyway, food news. And we are starting this food news episode with CBD, this hemp compound found in hemp that is proven, the studies with CBD oil, this oil extracted from hemp plant, is proven to help with pain issues, with anxiety, with inflammation. But usually, most of the studies that prove anything are done with that CBD oil, and none of the studies are done with any of the products that are coming to the market right now. And CBD, so manufacturers push for legal clarity at FDA's first public hearing on CBD. The results of that hearing, all the results of that hearing are not public yet, but what is known and what is public and what is spread right now among food manufacturers or people or anyone in food industry, either policymakers or entrepreneurs or anyone who is connected to the cycle of food making with CBD. So everyone needs clarity. And as for this moment, it's still not really legal to market and create CBD products or foods that are infused with CBDs. There is no clarity about what effects exactly those products have on our health, on our mental and physical health. Usually CBD is associated with a lot of mental issues in any hemp product. So the food producers, FDA, all the regulatory organs are not sure how it affects our health long term, and especially they're not sure about different formulations of food products that are coming into the market. They're trying to add CBD to everything, to soft drinks, to energy drinks, to ice creams, to alcohol, to all kinds of snacks. And the thing is about any compound is when it's added to different foods and food formulations or different drinks, it can have completely different effect because of other ingredients in the same foods. That's why it's kind of like hard to introduce new ingredients into foods and be sure about any health effects right now or in the future, especially if the food compound is something that is proven to have profound effects when on human health, either psychoactive or effect on our physical body. In any case, so FDA's public hearing results, stay tuned for that. Probably next week on Food and Use on Food School podcast, you're going to hear about that. But while that hearing is still going on, Ben and Jerry's ice cream brand announced that they're serious about adding CBDs in their products and their frozen desserts, but are not sure in what formulations they're gonna put it in, what flavors they're gonna create with CBD, and what kind of desserts they're gonna make of it. But they're not gonna release anything to the market unless they're sure about regulations in place from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. So everyone is waiting for more clarity from Food and Drug Administration before putting CBD into our food supply fully, because it can go either way. FDA can cancel, can forbid and prohibit putting CBD in our food supply, or can allow it. And nobody is sure yet how it's going to go. But again, from me personally, my recommendation on CBD, try CBD oil if you want to experience the effects. Food products, drinks with CBD, from my perspective, a complete waste of time, because nobody really is sure what effect and what dosage needed for any kind of effect. And then that's on the positive side. On the negative side, you might get some negative psychoactive consequences and effects on your physical performance if you consume it in the food where other ingredients can interact with CBD, not in a positive for your health way. So CBD, I wouldn't really experiment with a lot of CBD foods and CBD infused drinks. Moving to the next news study. Energy drinks can alter heart rhythm and increase blood pressure. You might have heard about this one because it's kind of a big one. There is a lot of negative publicity about soft drinks in general, and now there has been this study designed that is the largest randomized controlled clinical trial on the subject today, and they were trying to figure out how soft drinks, energy drinks in particular, affect heart health. And so the study noted that energy drinks significantly prolong the QTS interval, meaning that they altered heart rhythm a lot after a couple of hours after people consume those energy drinks, meaning the time heart chambers need to contract and relax. Well, those are medical specifics. The drinks also raised central blood pressure and brachial blood pressure. Researchers said further investigation is warranted on whether individual ingredients or a combination of them leads to these changes. The impact of long-term energy drinks consumption remains unknown, they concluded. So, of course, like with any ingredients, any drinks, or any foods, long-term consequences of the consumption of that drink hard to measure, because we change in our diets and in our lifestyle so many things. But then again, I would try for now stick with the same foods that your grandma and grandpa used to eat for their whole life, because they probably turned out to live pretty healthy, long life. And all these new products, you just never know, especially all these formulations with so many ingredients that we just are not sure how they gonna affect our health in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. There are, again, so many formulations, and most of them are created with no real studies backing them up. So it's like a scientific experiment that you're running on yourself. And sometimes you can die of those experiments, and nobody will really sure what you died of, even though it might be caused by some drink or food that you consumed. So just stick to whole foods most of the time and experiment with all kinds of drinks and snack, once in a while. Don't make it a consistent part of your daily diet, and especially don't make it a big chunk of your food consumption. Moving to the next, mental health and the microbiome, mixed findings over probiotics, anxiety impact. So the whole study, this research was about how probiotics and non-probiotic interventions, meaning changing your diet, affect your mental health, and specifically anxiety that a lot of people are suffering from. And guys, when my diet wasn't optimal for me, I used to struggle from anxiety a lot. But the more I tuned my diet to better work for me, the less and less anxiety I had. And so now my whole personality changed. I'm so much more confident and so much more positive and optimistic, and doing so many projects because I changed my diet and because it affected my microbiome in a certain way, and that produced difficult biochemistry in my brain and in my body, and that's why I am the way I am. But I was, again, completely different person when I was eating suboptimal, for me personally, diet. And so the conclusion is there are two kinds of interventions, probiotic and non-probiotic interventions. And non-probiotic, as I've said, means dietary interventions, meaning feeding people different foods, compared to probiotic when the researchers just add probiotics as a supplement to people's regular diet. So those interventions to regulate intestinal microbiota. And it should be highlighted that the non-probiotic interventions, meaning food interventions, were more effective than the probiotic interventions. So it is proven that our diet affects in a positive or negative way, depends how you change your diet, our mental health and our anxiety levels. And it seems from all the studies that changing your diet will influence your microbiome and your microbiome gut axis, or that connection that there is between your gut and your brain. Our diet influences that much, much more than just taking probiotics as a supplement. So change your diet, guys, and it will change who you are. I promise you that. The more you work on adjusting your diet to work better for you, the better you're going to feel, and the more energy you're going to have, and you can be blown away by the changes in your personality how you are, who you are, how you feel on a daily basis, and how you show up for the world, how it all changes based on your dietary changes. And again, besides, eating junk and obviously eating food that is not great for anyone, toxic substances and stuff, a healthy diet can mean different things for different people because of our different microbiome, because of our different environment, because of our different lifestyle. So what works for me might be a complete disaster for you. That's what I'm trying to say. So never think that there is one healthy diet. No, you got to figure out your own diet for yourself. And there are ways to do that, but that, requires a separate conversation on its own. Next news, BCAAs, or branch chained amino acid. So excessive BCAAs intake linked to overeating and obesity, Australian mice study. So our data highlight a role for amino acid quality in energy balance and show that health cost of chronic high BCAAs intakes need not to be due to intrinsic toxicity, but instead are a consequence of hyperphagia driven by amino acid imbalance. So this whole article that has just been released by Australian researchers showed that overconsumption of any kind of amino acid in supplement form, and that usually goes to fitness crowd or someone who into supplements a lot, who tend to overconsume certain supplements, like for example amino acids. And the thing is, when you take individual supplements not balanced like it would be in whole food, you just never know what effects it's going to produce in your body. Usually when you consume whole foods, they work much better because the compounds in those foods are balanced and they are better suited for your body. That is also a product of of nature. You were not created in a lab. You were grown, you were born, created naturally, right? So foods that are created naturally and balanced by nature and evolution, they work better for our body, producing much less negative effects. That's why it's so much easier, for example, to get vitamin A toxicity from supplement, but it's almost impossible to do it, to get it from whole foods like liver, for example. So the same goes for a lot of supplements, like, for example, amino acids. So they might cause overeating and they might cause weight gain. But again, it's not that amino acids are bad. No, if you consume them from food, like, especially protein-rich foods like meat or fish or chicken, it's a completely different story than when you consume your amino acids from supplement. That can cause increased hunger. That is hyperphagia. It means increased hunger, and that can cause overeating can cause weight gain. So when you consume any sort of supplement, just be aware of the fact that besides all the positive effects that the company or producer of that supplement or the industry might tell you about, they might not tell you about and might not even know about the possible negative consequences of consuming that supplement, of over-consuming that supplement. So be very cautious about adding different kinds of supplements into your diet. Don't take a lot of them at the same time because they also work together, interact with each other, and may produce unknowable effects. And then also, when you try any new supplement, add it into your diet, see how you do over at least 3 weeks, and then add them to diet more on a more consistent basis, or don't depending on what results you get. And then also remember that the results that you get in 3-4 weeks are not the same that the results you're going to get in a year of consuming the same supplement or several years. Things tend to accumulate in our body and then produce different effects, positive or negative. So just be aware of that, and remember that supplements were created by a person who was not exactly sure about all the effects of that particular substance or supplement, or how it can work in your body specifically. And then to sum it all up, I just wanted to mention this trend that I've been reading about, also trend in sports industry, nutrition industry, of cleaning up their label. I'm very frustrated with supplement industry in general, because most of the supplements, they add a lot of different ingredients that, well, first of all, they do not have known effect. Nobody researched those other ingredients in that supplement, how they affect your health. But then also, for example, you buy multivitamin, or you buy amino acid supplement, and then that supplement will have 5-10 more ingredients that you didn't order. Like you're not buying, sucralose or maltodextrin or some anti-baking agents, and then you see them in your supplement along with the stuff that you actually wanted, like amino acids or your multivitamin, or all kinds of supplements. So maybe your protein, or maybe L-carnitine. So you want one thing, but then you get tons of other stuff that you have no idea how it works in your body, or what it's going to do. So just make sure, first of all, to always check all the ingredients of your supplement, not just active ingredients, not just, the amount of, carbs, protein, the fats, but actual ingredients. What's in that specific supplement? Make sure to check that, and don't just trust labels that may say something like gluten-free or lactose-free, or no lactose, or no sugar, no peanuts, or GMO-free. Don't just trust those labels. Actually, again, check the ingredient list and make sure that you understand what's in your supplement. And if you do not understand, then do your research first, or reach out and ask me for advice on this particular supplement and what all those ingredients mean and whether you should take it or not. So reach out, ask for advice. Be very cautious about supplements and weird ingredients that you add into your food supply. It all affects your body. It doesn't just pass through your system. It interacts with molecules, with organisms that are in your body, with this whole system. And, your body is a delicate system. It works best at balance, but it's hard to maintain balance when you're constantly adding some ingredients that you're not sure of, like how they made, why they made, what they made of, right? So that's it for today, guys. To sum it up, CBD, proceed with caution. Nobody is still clear about the effects of it on your health, especially in all the different formulations of foods, drinks, and food-like products. Amino acids, specifically branched-chain amino acids, maybe don't overconsume them, and maybe stop them for a while and consume your proteins and amino acids from real food, because it's just not known what exact effect it's going to have on your body. Maybe it will cause you overeating and gaining weight instead of building muscle or supporting your long-term health. When it comes to microbiome and treating anxiety and mental disorders, go for food treatments, meaning change your diet. That works better than just taking probiotics. When it comes to sport nutrition and supplements, check your labels, check your data, guys. And that's it for today. food news episode of Food School podcast. You're going to find links to all the articles that I talked about today in the show notes. Stay tuned for an interesting guest podcast episode tomorrow, guys. If you have any questions about healthy eating, always feel free to reach out. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.